You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Well, it looks like many Hazleton area students plan to kick off their new school year classes studying from home. WYLN's Phil Kaufman explains.
The Hazleton Area School Board unanimously approved a plan that phases in the return to classes. But some students might take classes in person as early as 2 weeks into the semester through a plan that flexes with cases of COVID-19 and gives parents final say in whether their children sit in classrooms. At the start of school on September 8th, pre-kindergarten classes and possibly students enrolled in shops at Hazleton Area Career Center will meet in person. Some students might get back to classrooms after 2 weeks of studying from home, depending on the prevalence of COVID-19 in the area. Results from a survey so far show that most parents in elementary and middle schools in Hazleton, West Hazleton, and Hazel Township prefer having students study from home. Parents from Valley and Drums Elementary Middle Schools are split evenly on having classes at home or in schools. Superintendent Brian Uplinger asked parents who haven't taken the survey to call the school that their children will attend. The district doesn't have up-to-date telephone numbers or emails for all families and hasn't been able to contact everyone. After determining how many children plan to return to each building, administration will calculate how many days each pupil could attend per week and still allow for safe physical distancing. Buses would make runs in the morning, at midday, and in the afternoon, Uplinger said. Schedules would allow an hour or longer between morning and afternoon sessions to provide time to clean classrooms and buses. When students study from home, they will participate in video sessions, which teachers will host from their classrooms. When hosting video conferences from school, teachers will have access to all their materials and to the school's broadband network, which is less likely to experience delays than home networks. Hazleton area purchased thousands of computers to supply the students who don't have machines at home, but Uplinger said the district remains short of having a computer for every student. Hazleton area had 11,515 students on March 10th, 6 days before schools closed statewide because of the virus. To explain the plan in detail, Uplinger said he will be holding meetings with parents, probably at the auditorium of Hazleton Area High School, where there is room to keep physical distance. Reporting from WYLN News, I'm Philip Kaufman.
Thank you, Phil. Hazleton area officials resumed weekly meetings to stay on top of COVID concerns. When the pandemic began, the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce and LVHN, as well as representatives from local municipalities, held daily online meetings. Meetings were cut back as cases appeared to decrease. All those involved decided to resume information sessions as a precautionary measure.
I think one of the great examples of our community in the Greater Hazleton area and how we work together was at the first start of it that we did do these calls with the medical personnel at Lehigh Valley Health Network just once a week to check in, see what their testing centers, what the hospital inpatient side looked like, just so that everyone could communicate together.
Positive cases are in the single digits, but officials want residents to continue taking the virus seriously while following health and safety guidelines.
Numbers have been on a slow uptick. And again, just to keep reinforcing the messages about social distancing, wearing a face mask, washing your hands, and trying to, again, reimagine and keep the perspective on doing that so that we can all keep the numbers down.
Confirmed cases in Luzerne County hit over 3,200, 14 of which were reported within the Hazleton area. COVID-19 may scale back this year's event a bit, but Hazleton's annual Fun Fest will go on, thanks to a little imagination. Our Julie Stefanovich has the details.
With so many annual events getting canceled, FunFest officials have done a little reimagining to bring the event to the community. The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce brainstormed on ways to bring activities to the area in a way that is safe for everyone.
The committee and the chamber had been kind of holding off, trying to see if there was any way that we would be able to do a little bit closer to what, the tradition of a 2-day street festival, celebrating our community and the arts and music. But it just became clear since mid-July with the latest round of mitigation and safety efforts that we needed to kind of go back to the drawing board.
It's the 42nd consecutive year the FunFest will bring its traditions of celebrating community, art, and music. Some of the events that are scheduled to take place are Peace, Love, and Chalk, sponsored by the Hazleton Art League.
And so what we came up with is last year we had started our partnership with the Art League and the Peace, Love, Chalk event. They were still willing and interested and felt safe that as those participants could spread out on either side of the sidewalks of Broad Street to actually do their drawings and then have them judged on Saturday.
A longtime FunFest musical act favorite will be traveling through town during a reimagined parade.
We saw that there is a way to do music and a parade in a safe, slow, socially distanced manner. So we're going to bring up one of the long-standing traditions of a string band / mummers to come up on Sunday, September the 13th, to do our parade. And it will be all through the city of Hazleton on both the north and south side.
The parade caravan will also honor the winner of the FunFest Hometown Heroes contest.
Every week they've had put out to the committee and to whomever to vote on somebody for that week to be that week's hometown hero. And at the end, which is coming up very shortly in the paper, the lists of names that we have been chosen for the city to actually vote for the hometown hero. And that person will get to ride in our little parade.
To vote for a hero, visit the FunFest Facebook page. And to keep up to date on all the latest information, you can visit the FunFest website. In Hazleton for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thanks, Julie. The city of Hazleton's making a few personnel changes, one of which hits a bit close to home for us here at Wyln. Multiple vacancies are being filled and administrative positions are being restructured. Administration's using money from an Act 47 grant to help pay for the assistant administrator position, which will be filled by Maria Cutler at a salary of $34,000. Mayor Jeff Cassatt's current administrative assistant, Allison Keegan, will be moving on over to Human Resources. And former Wyln News Director Gary Perna will be taking over Keegan's position. Congrats, Gary. The city also hired a new full-time firefighter and seeks applicants for police civil service testing that begins April 15th to fill 9 positions total. Administration is also considering the use of money from the Federal CARES Act to create a city health office. A Freeland couple was recently arrested stemming from a March 26th incident of alleged child abuse. Hazleton police contacted Freeland police back in March to report that 20-year-old Daniel Gardner and 19-year-old Felicity Hunsinger brought their 2-month-old daughter to Hazleton Express Care for bruising. The infant had to be then transferred to a hospital, where it was reported that the baby was suffering from fractured ribs, multiple bruises, and bleeding in both eyes. The couple both faced child endangerment charges, while Gardner was also charged with aggravated assault and simple assault. An Edwardsville man was arraigned Tuesday on charges that allege he severely beat 2 young children. 30-year-old Deron Michael Isaac of 1 Beverly Drive is accused of beating his ex-girlfriend's 3- and 4-year-old sons on numerous occasions last year. Both boys were brought to Geisinger South Wilkes-Barre for bruising. The 4-year-old's injuries were so severe that he was transferred to the Danville campus. Further examinations revealed that the child was suffering from internal bleeding. Police said the examination of both boys pointed to physical abuse. On November 21st, the mother went to Edwardsville police and told them Isaac was responsible for those injuries. Police charged Isaac with aggravated assault, simple assault, and child endangerment. The Hanover Area School Board approved a plan Tuesday night to start the upcoming school year. Now, according to the plan, school will start August 31st with remote instruction and switch to in-person instruction by October 1st. Other school districts in the region are planning to reopen 5 days a week for students that don't want to learn online, or reopen with a hybrid plan, with students spending part of the week in school and part of it learning online. The district's holding an informational session on the reopening plan online at 6 p.m. today, which will include a Q&A session. Coming up on Wyln News, what to do with your PSU tickets, plus Dorney's ending their season early. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Lorelai, and I'm 7 years old, and tomorrow it's going great.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. Looking for information on the coronavirus pandemic? Make sure it's from a reliable source. Go to WYLNTV.com and click on the Lehigh Valley Health Network banner for the real facts about the coronavirus pandemic. And watch WYLN News live at 5:30 for updates on this ongoing crisis. The source matters now more than ever. WYLN, we're your local network.
State Representative Tara Toohill recently participated in a hearing that addressed the mental health effects surrounding the pandemic. The House Human Services Committee met to examine the impact of COVID-19 on the mental health of Pennsylvanians. It revealed that isolation caused by the statewide shutdowns and stay-at-home orders did contribute to an increase in substance abuse and relapse, as well as despair and thoughts of suicide. The Department of Human Services, doctors of psychiatry, and both county and private mental health service providers testified on the rising levels of financial distress, anxiety, depression, insomnia, and unresolved grief during the pandemic. And speaking of Representative Toohill, her Hazleton office will be serving as the host for a mobile census site tomorrow. The downtown office will be used as a U.S. Census Bureau mobile site for residents to receive assistance in completing their census forms. Census workers will be available both inside the office and outside on the sidewalk to meet with residents. Mobile census help will be offered Thursday, August 6th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at our office at 1 West Broad Street. Penn State Athletics will be sending an email to season ticket holders Thursday morning regarding its 2020 home football schedule. The Big Ten released its 2020 conference-only football schedule featuring a slate full of games, hopefully kicking off the first weekend in September. It's not confirmed at this time how many fans, if any, will be allowed in each game. However, the university suggested back in July that any approved capacity would only be able to cover already sold season tickets. If all goes well, Penn State's 2020 season opener will happen September 5th at Beaver Stadium against Northwestern. Get your tickets now because Dorney Park announced their last open day this year will be Labor Day, September 7th. The Lehigh County Park opened for the season to the public July 11th, but reservations are required. Wildwater Kingdom, which did not open this year, will remain closed until next season. Face masks are required, and guests must complete a pre-visit health screening declaration 24 hours prior to admission. Temperature checks are being done on visitors, vendors, and employees. According to the park, 2020 season passes as well as any add-ons will be valid for the 2021 season. Coming up on SB's News Choice, we talk speech pathology on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You, plus some pandemic postponements for you. Stay with us.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown the Hometown Village Square.
Tune in every Sunday night on Wyln from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on Wyln. I'll see you in the ring.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon
At 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media?
Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page?
Now more than ever,
WYLN is your local news leader.
From the bottom of our hearts, the WYLN TV 35 family would like to say thank you to all essential workers for your service to our community and for keeping us safe.
welcome to Community and You here on WYLN. I'm Julia Wiegand, and today is Wellness Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. And today we are on location at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. And we may not be in the room right now, but we are talking about the Gunderson Inpatient Rehabilitation Center with Danielle Taylor, who is a speech-language pathologist here. How are you doing, Danielle?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Now, Danielle, with the mask mandates right now, it's probably tough, but how are you guys managing when it comes to all of the things that tailor around speech pathology?
So right now we are required to wear our masks and maintain social distancing when we can. It can be very challenging when trying to do therapy, especially related to speech, when a lot of what we do is talking and swallowing. So when we can, we have our patients mask up, we mask up as well. If we are addressing one of the areas where we need to see their mouth movement, we will have them remove their mask and again, try to just maintain as much distance as we can just so we can keep ourselves safe and the patients safe.
Now, let's give our viewers an overview. What do you guys do? What do you guys do at the Gunderson?
So here at the Gunderson, we're a 16-bed inpatient rehab. We have physical, occupational, and speech therapists here. Our patients that come here get 3 hours of therapy a day, so sometimes split up between the 3 disciplines, depending on what their needs are. And we work with them throughout their stay here. This room is our ADL kitchen, so as they're progressing and starting to get ready to go home, we might do some functional tasks of laundry or cooking, so try to simulate that in, home environment for them so they're not going back and having to start from the ground up. We also have a transition room, which is to simulate a bedroom that is not a hospital bed, so it's very different having to get in and out of a hospital bed than it would be, your standard queen-size bed at home. So trying to just do those kind of things with them as well to really get them as best as we can before they get back home. So there's a lot of the things that we do.
Now, it seems like the range of patients that you see age-wise is extremely vast. So what kind of patients are you guys seeing?
So as speech language pathologists or speech therapists, we see quite a variety of patients. It really can be a number of things. So anything neurological, so if it's somebody who's had a stroke, a traumatic brain injury, Parkinson's, any progressive diseases like ALS or MS, we treat all those different populations. Here in the hospital, anybody who's been on a vent after they've been extubated, we reassess their swallowing, make sure that nothing's been damaged during that intubation. If they've unfortunately not been able to be extubated and require a trach, we deal with that with their voice and their speech. So really the number of population or disorders that we work with is really quite vast.
And it seems like with that vast list of disorders that you guys handle on the day-to-day, that does not limit you to just Gunderson. You guys are running all over the hospital to help.
Yes, so here at the hospital, here at Lehigh Valley Hazleton, there's 2 of us speech therapists, and we work on the acute care side. We also see patients on the rehab, and then we actually follow up with them for home health therapy. So sometimes it can be a little daunting having to cover so many different areas, but what's really great is having that continuity of care for our patients where we can see them, maybe right in the ICU right after they've had a stroke. And then they come up to the rehab and, they're overwhelmed with all these different things they have to do, but we're a familiar face because we might have seen them bedside down there. And then when it's time for them to go home, if they choose our home health network, then we can be the ones to continue to see them there. So they kind of are able to develop a really nice rapport with us. And it's always nice having somebody who's seen you at your absolute worst and then get to that point where you're back home and can really reflect on the progress that they've made.
Now, if there's one thing I do want to ask right before we wrap this up today, what is one thing about being a speech pathologist or the speech pathology department that may be almost a stereotype that people may think, like a misconception of what you guys do? Is there something that, that really stands out more than most?
More often than not, if I go into see a patient and say, "Hi, I'm Danielle, I'm the speech therapist," the response I get is, "I don't need speech therapy, I talk just fine." So the misconception there is hearing speech, that it's just talking. But with us, we do a great deal with swallowing disorders known as dysphagia. We deal with voice, like I said, trachs, language, so anybody who's having difficulties with their word finding or comprehending certain things, cognitive linguistic skills, pragmatics. We really deal with a lot of different areas. So it's not just necessarily the talking part, although that is part of it. If they have slurred speech and they're a little bit dysarthric, we definitely address that as well. But it's really more encompassing than just the talking.
Well, thank you so much. This was very informational. Thank you for meeting with us and taking the time today to talk, Danielle.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you everybody watching out there. Remember, speech pathology, it's not just about talking, it's a little more in depth, and where better to get the assistance you need than right here at LVH Hazleton. That's it for Wellness Wednesday here on Community and You. We'll see you next time here on Wyln.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information.
We've seen the concern in your eyes. You're scared, nervous, want to know if it's safe. The answer is yes. At LVHN, you'll see the extraordinary steps we take to get you the care you need safely. At all our facilities, you'll see temperature checks for everyone, that we sanitize every surface, and yes, you'll see that masks are required. What we look forward to seeing is relief in your eyes. Lehigh Valley Health Network. Your health deserves a partner.
The landmark conference, home of the University of Scranton's athletic teams, will not be playing sports this fall. The conference postponed all sporting events through December 31st of 2020, but intend to play fall sports in the spring of 2021. As for winter sports, the conference will provide an update by October 15th. The University of Scranton was the last local college to lose its fall sports season to the coronavirus pandemic. In a statement posted to its website, Scranton said it'll still try to find opportunities for teams to participate in activities in a safe and sensible manner this fall. Country music fans will have to wait until next summer to see legendary band Alabama. The Country Music Hall of Fame's group's postponing its 50th anniversary tour that was scheduled to roll into Mohegan Sun Arena October 2nd. The show's been rescheduled to Friday, July 23rd at 7 in 2021. All tickets purchased for the original date will be honored on the new performance date. For more information, visit MoheganSunArenaPA.com. That's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton.